Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing This is turn, I don't even know, 137. Let's jump into things real quick. I'm going to try to make the, I've been talking about this for a while, but I'm going to try to make this turn relatively quick. I've got a lot going on, and there's not really a lot happening right now. We're just in these big preparatory phases. So, we'll try to take a look at the interesting things and move along. So we cast 3 manifestations this turn. I learned how manifestation worked, by the way. Manifestation apparently will cycle through a number of commanders up to, I think the number is 8 in a province. Don't quote me on that. Up to a certain number of commanders. And on each commander, it will check. It'll perform a check. And it's basically like a 50% chance, unless they are horror marked. If they're horror marked, then I think it's either higher or guaranteed. But the Ashen Angel will just be like, yeah, let's kill that guy, or let's not kill that guy. So it's just like a 50-50 on whether or not the angel's like, I don't wanna, right? But 50-50 is very good at getting a likely attack if you're aiming at 8 people. But if you're only aiming at 1 person, like we were that other turn, that's when you get those scenarios where it's like, oh, I didn't find anybody. Bitch, you found somebody, you just didn't think they were worthy enough. That's trash. Anyways, so manifestation. Ashen Angel has killed an Ami. Nice. Manifestation. Ashen Angel has killed a Horite Shaman. Nice. Okay, a bunch of recruitables, Corpse Construction, Infernal Tempest, Kusarikus, Forces of Darkness, Reanimations, Corpseman Construction. Probably gonna... I need to go back around and check all these. We're actually doing a lot of reanimations now, which I'm fine with, but I don't want to do them to a unrealistic point. Eventually, they're not worth the death gems. So I want to reanimate up until I feel like I have okay, we've got 100 or so undead here to use as chaff. That's fine. Leave it, right? So we'll try to keep that in mind. But we're nowhere near that for right now. Just something to think about. And then we have another manifestation. Kill another Ami. Nice. Okay. We've got magic phase attacks where we lose a Lich to Amis. We are beaten. Well, actually watch this one, because this is a good show of examples of what we're going up against, right? The Amis are just teleport Amis with penetration gear. We know how they work. But this guy is kitted out in very interesting ways. So, you can see he has a Vine Shield that's going to be very important against the undead in general, who tend to have low magic resistance. But it's also just going to help, just there to help keep him alive. He has good armor, which is super important, right? And that is to keep him from just getting destroyed by the Fiends of Darkness. He's got good reinvigoration. He's got regeneration. I don't really know why this one has the Astral Serpent, but whatever. Not really a big deal. But specifically, he has a Vine Shield, and he puts up an Astral Shield, and that is to keep himself from getting just obliterated by Fiends of Darkness. So, Fiends of Darkness drop, and, kills a whole swath of them. And that's that. That's pretty much that. So, unfortunate. Our Vampire Lord routes. Okay, we got to keep that in mind. So, this is just a continuing scenario, right? Like, I raided him for a really long time, and then he started coming up with ideas on how to counter raid me better, and then I started coming up with the ways to raid him better. Kind of. Really, we just continued to raid more and more, and now he's getting better and better at, okay, let's kill these immortals with this thing, let's kill these immortals with that thing, etc., etc. So, something to keep in mind. Resting Heights, we get hit by another Ami Teleport Soul Slay squad, and then we get attacked in Saetica by a very similar scenario. This one I do want to point out has a storm spool and a lightning spear. These are interesting. But he's doing basically the same thing, right? He's coming in, he's teleporting in on to Fiends of Darkness. This group is because he does not have the AoE. He actually takes quite a bit longer to kill these. To the point to where we actually do get undead into the mix with him. But with a Vine Shield, they're not gonna matter. And he has just enough protection, just enough defense, just enough Vine Shield, just enough Astral Shield. Actually, I don't think Astral Shield really works against the undead. But regeneration, enough, all of those things to not really. Oh, yeah, this guy's paralyzed. Yeah, sure, it totally does. But well, he's not undead. He's a demon. Dead? I don't know. No idea. Inanimate? I don't know. Looks like it. Looks like these guys are not. They are not. Anyways. So this is something to keep in mind, right? We actually do end up winning here, but only, I think, because this guy doesn't have AoE, so he can't kill enough units, right? That's not going to save us every time. Hinom's a smart enough player to know that that's not going to always work, so he'll start using some AoE, and that will go super south on us real quick. So, so what it looks like is that if he sees something solo, like a Lich or a vampire on its own, we'll send a squad of Amis to soul slay it to death. But if he sees these forces of darkness, he's going to teleport in a Melkart. Great. Okay. We will work towards countering that now. Pretty decent blood hunting this turn. Into was attacked by Soul Thorns and killed. Unfortunate. Okay, she's not a super important person. And then we have a whole bunch of battles. We attacked into the Cloud Cap Spires and won. Lanka attacked into the Wetlands and won. We attacked into the Wetlands and beat Lanka with our Vampire Lord. Lanka attacked into Tegregus and won. We got attacked in Edirol and lost. We witnessed an attack from Lanka onto Oaklands. They won. Lanka won in Sinafe. Lanka won in Ivermore. Hinom won in Centennia. It's basically, almost always, if you attack, you're gonna win, basically. Because you're attacking into nothingness. We got attacked in Turtle Glades. We watched an attack in Tavania, Ivermark, Palomire, Sitha. So no weird turnarounds or anything like that, okay? In Wick Forest, we got +1 Water Gem. Isham, the Enkidu Shaman, was wounded in Trackless Waste, which is Roro. And then we gained some Golden which is kind of cool. So that is pretty much that. What are we doing this turn? Not a whole lot. We're continuing to do the things that we have been. We're prepping. Couple of slight things. The only things that we have out in the field right now are, so one to note is that Hinom is feeling the pressure from Lanka, and Lanka's doing great at raiding him. I'm actually kind of getting my ass kicked on the raiding side of things. Hinom is beating me wildly there, but that's okay. It happens. No big deal. But we can see, like, he's basically pushed me back to the line of scrimmage. The only point that I have reliably beyond is Halbathria. But we have Halbathria pretty fiercely. I will say that. So. No resource. That. Going. Okay. So, what are we doing? We've seen his ability to counter us, so we're going to try to anticipate that. We've done this previously. It has not worked. That's okay. We'll see how it goes. For this, for example, we have Vamp 29 has Fiends of Darkness. So the assumption is he's not going to come after Vamp 29 with Amis. Might, who knows? He's going to come after Vamp 29 with something else. If he comes after Vamp 29, we're going to try to, with Amis, we're going to try to catch him, right? By adding in some province defense. And then I think, honestly, Fiends of Darkness will kill any Amis. So, again, I don't think he's going to come after us with Amis. But he might try to jump us with a Melkart. In which case, we're just throwing out some hordes of skeletons to try to muddy the waters. And then we're spamming Disintegrate at him, hoping that we get lucky. While the horde of skeletons, the Fiends of Darkness, and the province defense is, kicking around. We're launching an attack into Erd with a group of Vamp 31 over here. And he's just doing the normal thing because, again, it's on the attack. You're probably going to be fine. Two people who are probably going to be on the defensive. It's all... There's two Vamp 31s. Whatever. I'm assuming people who have been watching me do this for ages are livid with the amount of mistakes I make with the counting, but I don't really care. It's an approximation, y'all. Anyways, Vamp 31 over here is going to attack into Modern Weld, and Vamp 30 is going to attack into Sitha. But their stuff is kind of altered, because I anticipate Ami is coming after us, because they have no, they have no units with which to do anything, so it would make sense to send some Amis after them. So we're doing a little bit of a PD dump. Not much, just enough to hopefully try to eat some Soul Slays. While Vamp 30 does Soul Vortex and attack rears. Same thing for Vamp 30, or Vamp 31. Don't know if that's going to work, but we're just kind of experimenting right now. We'll see how it goes. And if the reason why we're not just immediately attacking rear is if we don't go up against anything, so we actually do make it to Modern Weld or make it to Sitha, I still would prefer not to die. So a Soul Vortex with Invulnerable 25 will probably take on PD. So should be okay, but who knows. Other things that we are doing is mostly just moving people around. We're moving a bunch of... I don't really know when this happened, but we're moving a bunch of Gudus up towards Halbathria. I don't know when this happened or why this happened. I don't know where these Gudus came from. I cannot for the life of me remember. Whatever. Moving an NC in to help reinforce Pangea. Moving an Esham down towards Kailasa. We'll probably do the next 2 or 3 Eshams down that way. We are attacking with our first magic resistance gear Lich. And this is kind of a feint. I expect this guy to die. I don't think 25 magic resistance is enough to protect against 3 or 4 Amis with protection gear. So that's one thing. But 2, I think also he might just see this and go, alright, fuck you. Here's a Melkart with a Firebrand. And that Melkart with Firebrand is going to kick the shit out of this Lich. But this is a very cheap feint in the way of gear. And while not cheap in the way of death gems, this is kind of what we're doing every turn anyways. So we are continuing to poke and prod and force responses while we go for our actual goals, which our actual goals are healing Gift of Health, and then, you know, making a very strong morale situation. Maybe even, you know, I don't think we're going to do this here. This is probably something we're going to use Monka, but like a very strong communion, right? Like a very large, very strong communion to just go fucking ham, right? So to kind of like kind of discuss that, because that's really that's all that's happening, right? There's nothing else that's super big. We're continuing to recruit around the world Gudus when we are away from water, and Ishibs when we are near water. We're trying to get into that situation of Ishibs are immediately starting to forge their own gear. For that, we've kicked up the Dwarven Hammer factories again. We're going full bore into it. We're actually probably going to have to start dropping gear. We'll get rid of a whole bunch of these dowsing rods because we don't need them anymore. Miscellaneous stuff we'll probably just throw on people rather than get rid of it, right? Like, hey, boots of water walking, sweet, who wants those? Hey, a dancing trident, who would like it? Yeah, you know, that type of shit. But we're gonna run into inventory space issues here in the near future. So, yeah, should be interesting. Main things that we are doing this turn is we're super focusing on, we're going to start doing an amulet, a crown, and a lodestone every single turn for our, a new lich pops out, it gets an amulet, a crown, a lodestone. New lich pops out, amulet, crown, lodestone. Right, we're going to see how this works with Lich 33, what the response is, where we go from there. And if we need to add to it, we'll add to it, right? Maybe we add, that's maybe we add a rainbow armor, right? More magic resistance. This puts us up to 27, gives us some reinvigoration, and all of a sudden these, you know, we throw Boots of the Messenger on there, and these fucking liches just never fatigue out. And then all of a sudden, they're way harder to, you know, to kill with Soul Slays. And then at that point, we have them so geared up. Maybe we go full enchilada, right? Maybe we put like a lead shield on them, so they're basically impossible to Soul Slay. And we start having them roll around in packs, like packs of 4 or 5, packs that are actually like, okay, you send a Mel card after this, and this is going to be dangerous for that Mel card, right? Because they're going to swamp the battlefield with more skeletons than you can kill. And sure, the skeletons aren't going to do anything to you, but if I have them on advance and cast spells, they can get in range, and when they're like, oh, there's enough skeletons, drain life, drain life, drain life, drain life, you know, that type of stuff. So I don't know that that's the route that we're going to go, right? But that's a route that we could get to eventually. Mirror Armor also has Magic Resistance 3, but I think at this point, since we can do stuff like Rainbow Armor with the increased reinvigoration, I think it's slightly better. Well, I say slightly better. But still doing stuff like, you know, Lead Shield, that gives a lot of encumbrance, and the additional reinvigoration plus reinvigoration off of things like the Boots of the Messenger. That's actually, and these are all very cheap items. Well, the Lead Shield's not the cheapest, but whatever. I mean, Earth's kind of a dump gem for me anyways. So we're moving into that kind of direction. We're continuing with 2 dragon helmets and 2 rings of the warrior every turn, trying to build up this army. That's gonna take a little while. We're gonna kick that into overdrive here probably shortly. This turn, we're actually finishing. I say finishing. It's not going to be finished. But we only have 4 of our communion individuals that do not have a demon bane here. We will have another one next turn, obviously, and we'll have one every turn from Tesiphon. But what we can do is we can finish this off, and then we have to focus over here. We'll have like 3 or 4 turns of getting all the ones here. But the point there will be is we get everyone done, and then we can turn those hammers into something else, right? Like we can focus on doing 5 or 6 dragon helmets per turn, 5 or 6 Rings of the Warrior per turn, or right, maybe we're like, okay, we're doing okay there. I really want this communion to be like my big secret big weapon when I go up against Lanka, right? So like, okay, let's take this, right, and say, now that we have the Demon Banes on everyone, right, let's actually make sure we're good against other elements, right? So let's throw a fucking Ring of Tamed Lightning on them. And then let's fucking throw a Ring of Frost on them, right? Super cheap items that we don't really care about. But all they are is there to make sure that these people just can't get obliterated. So, Murdering Winter, Shimmering Fields, those types of things. So, flames, or yeah, flames from the sky, etc. So, that is something that we can potentially do. I don't know if that's just do. Storm Spool is just better in every way, isn't it? Than Ring of Tamed Lightning. I feel like the items in Dom need a little bit of note. Anyways, I think that's mostly it as far as like the interesting things that we are actually trying to accomplish this turn. Oh, another thing, you might see that our Astral Pearls are tanked. We're doing a Ring of Wizardry this turn. This will be the last item that we need. We have a Tree Lord Staff, we have a Moonvine Bracelet, the Ring of Wizardry, and technically it didn't have to be a Ring of Wizardry, it could have been a Ring of Sorcery. It just, in my mind, it makes more sense to go ahead and make a freaking Ring of... If you're gonna spend the 60, and you can afford the 80, and you can make the 80, right? Because it's 6 Astral to do this Ring of Sorcery and 7 Astral to do the Ring of Wizardry, then you might as well just do it. And we can, so we did. Because a Ring of Wizardry obviously is +1 to all magic. A Ring of Sorcery is only +1 to sorcery magic. So, what is that? Death, nature, blood, and astral. So specifically, we need it for nature. This will make our nature 5 Esham with the Tree Lord Staff a +2. That's a 7, 8, 9 with the Ring of Wizardry, and 10 with the Cloak of the, or Robe of the Magi. And actually, I really don't like that. Let's not do. I don't have to go that far. But let's not do that. We have no reason to tempt fate there. So where is this guy? So this guy can just as easily do this for us, and he doesn't have a global attached, so I don't feel bad about him potentially getting horror marked. Make smart choices, children. And that's pretty much it. We're doing... We're just prepping. We've got our Storm Demons going now, by the way. I don't know if I talked about this last turn or not, but got our storm demons going. We're going to keep them here. Just amassing, 50 to 100 or whatever. And they're close enough to the border. I assume that he's probably got scouts over here. He can probably see me. It is what it is, right? I'm not really fucked up about it. But we're trying to, not be like just in his face, super obvious. Oh, hey, here's 300 storm demons. We're gonna come at you, like, even though it's probably not gonna be a surprise, if it has the chance, then why not, why not try to keep it a surprise? So those are for specifically, right? Like if we end up in the next 10, 15 turns trying to go for something like Raphabolia or White Forest, then we can bring in, 40, 50, 80 storm demons. These things do have storm immunity. I think here's in the what actually I don't have to just explain this. I can just show one of my pet peeves, one of my frustrations about this fucking game is the inaccuracy of information. I love this game. I've spent so many hours in this game, y'all. So many, and I'm not even good. But it pisses me off. And I'm sure someone's gonna look at this, right, and be like, well, this means this. Okay, sure, great, but there's so much obtuse knowledge in this game that is hard to come upon, or it's hard to learn, right? It's obscured, it's hidden from the player, and it makes things difficult to get behind or to master or what have you. And rather than just talking hypothetically, I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is Storm Demon in the Mod Inspector, right? I'll even go to Advanced. More info, right? Nowhere on here does it say storm immunity. Now, obviously, right, like, one of the reasons why I originally wanted to do Storm Demons was I was like, oh, they have storm immunity. They'll help me do aerial attacks against Hinnom, who keeps putting storm up all the fucking time, and I can't fly anything. That's real fucking annoying. Let's make some Storm Demons, right? But then, like, I don't know, like 15 turns ago, or whenever I first had the idea, I went to the Mod Inspector because I was like, let's look things up before I start, committing myself to anything. But it doesn't say storm immunity on here. So I went for, like, several turns being all glum-chum, like, there's just no way around this. And then, I don't even remember what I was doing, but I found out, oh, they do have fucking storm immunity. What the fuck? And I'm sure someone's gonna tell me, someone's gonna come in here and be like, well, actually, if they have storm power, they have storm, or whatever. I don't know, right? Or, actually, if you press this button over here, it's gonna show you that they have storm immunity. That's what I'm talking about, though. Like, the information is obfuscated, and it's frustrating, right? Like, one, the fact that I have to go to a website put together by, I'm pretty sure it's a fan, right? I don't actually know, but whoever you are, thank you very much. I do appreciate your work and your effort, even if you are the developers, right? I appreciate your work and your effort, right? But I have to go to an external website to look up unit statistics in the game. I can't do that in game, right? Short of, like, having a cheat game and just, like, wishing everything in and being able to, like, look at it. It's so exhausting to do all that stuff. You have to jump through these hoops and ladders, and it's just, come on. And even then, right, like, there are inaccuracies in the data all over the place. And I don't know what causes that. I don't know why that's the case. I'm sure other people do, and it's very easily explainable, but it's this type of stuff, right? This type of stuff is the stuff that becomes a barrier of entry for people getting into Dominions. It's not for me. I've been playing Dominions for way too fucking long now to have any barriers of entry. Now it's just annoying, right? But this is the type of stuff that people are like, that become issues for people trying to get into the game. Because it is kind of so obtuse or so obfuscated. And that's not good. That's not a great thing. Anyways, that was my random rant, random bitch. Go back to actual fucking thing here. Canceled over. So we're gonna be producing a bunch of storm demons, and in fact, point of fact, we might actually take this Gudu. I think we were planning on doing this anyways. We might take him over the next couple turns and start putting together another Airblood Gudu just for more storm demons or faster storm demon production. You hanging out up here, Lippo Dippo?
I got buggy.
I got this buggy. The bug. Big bug. Alright, that's it. That's all for the turn. Not a lot of super exciting stuff. I'm sorry. I know this game is just dragging on and on and on. But again, I have fun playing this game because it does teach me things. I mean, talking about this game specifically. EA Tetragrammaton. I've learned a lot from it because it's gotten to this weird state, this kind of stalematey scenario. But I don't think that stalematey scenario is going to go on for very long. I think we are going to be able to successfully take Gift of Health. And I think once we take Gift of Health, we're going to have an easier time attacking. I think Lanka's going to have an easier time attacking. And I think once we deal with a couple of other things, Dark Skies, specifically issues, and etc., then we're going to be able to win some actual big battles and take some forts, right? And we've seen, once we take a fort, we tend to be able to have a good time holding it, right? So, we're just going to have to, like, be very careful about when Lanka takes a thing. Because it's going to happen invariably. It's going to happen. We've got to be poised to do the deed. In 70 turns or so, right? All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Ooh. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.